Hi, I'm Stacy from Stacy Create Stuff, and I don't know about you, but I have a lot of unfinished projects. So today I thought I would share my stack of unfinished quilt projects. Ready to take a look? It's not a small stack. So a little background, I used to own a quilt and yarn shop back in 2000 to about 2015, I think it was. My shop carried on a little bit after that with knitting. It was a quilt and yarn shop. And when I stopped selling fabric, I stopped quilting. But that didn't mean that I didn't have a number of unfinished projects. And now that I have organized my fabric, I'm getting the itch to start quilting again. So, of course, I've started a number of projects, including my random rail fence, which I am currently working on. Technically, that is a work in progress, and I have been sharing that progress here on my channel since I started that project in late December. And of course, I've just started my Block of the Week series, patching the hole in the barn door. That is an ongoing project, and I will have all of you for accountability to get that one finished. So I'm not too worried about those two projects because they are actively being worked on. But the stack that I have here are long forgotten projects. So let's take a look, and then I'm going to determine whether I'm going to keep it and finish or let it go. They're in all various stages, so that's a factor as well. Now, all of these have some progress on them. This does not include the stack of projects that I want to start. I'm going to be good. And in February, I'm not going to start any new projects of quilting. Yeah, we'll see about that. Anyhow, let's take a look. First up is a lovely little pinwheel quilt. It could serve as a wall hanging or a baby quilt. Bright rainbow colors. I love this quilt. It's adorable. Needs a good pressing, and it's going to need a backing, which I don't see in the stack. So I'm going to be writing down my list of projects, and that will also help me determine what is going to be finished and what is going to be passed on. Next up, we have a big block quilt. Now, I think this was all the rage back in, I don't know, 2010, 2012. It is a single block as a quilt. I loved this fabric. I still have quite a bit of this fabric. This is another one where I'm not sure that I want to finish it. I do have a finished version of that quilt, quilted and bound and everything. Not really my colors, so I may just sell this one on Etsy. But see, I do finish some things. Now, what's nice about this one is I do have backing fabric already for it. So it just needs to be quilted. And I think I have another one of these in a whole different colorway. Indeed, I do. Now, this one actually may go with another project that I'm planning, an upholstery project. So like its mate there, it just needs to be quilted. And unlike its mate, it does need a backing fabric, but I think I may have something in my stash to go with. Next up, a small project that has a pin in it. I believe this is a pillowcase ready to be sewn. So it could quickly be finished. The print has a pink and white stripe for the cuff of the pillowcase. It's a standard bed-size pillowcase. And then some fun beachy fabric with lots of flip-flops and sunglasses as the other bit of it. Now, would I actually use this pillowcase? Probably not, but it won't take much to finish it. Then it'd be done and I could gift it or sell it. Speaking of pillowcases, yet another one. This one is cut, not at all sewn or even pinned, but I had made one exactly like this for my husband. It has gold dragons on it. Well, orange dragons, but the gold and black print. He loved it, wore it right out. So I can check with him, see if he would like a replacement. He hasn't had that one for a few years. And if so, that's a quick sew and finish project. Another small wall hanging. I have discovered though that doing small projects is really the way to go for me. This one would benefit from some sashiko stitching, which is a type of slow stitching. So I think that this one is a keeper. It's just something I probably won't get to very quickly, and it will need a backing and possibly a border of some sort. I'm not sure. We'll have to see where that one goes. But it is definitely in the slow stitch pile. Here I have a table runner with some lovely William Morris inspired fabrics, plus some others that are not, but coordinate fairly well. I'm not sure where I would put this in my house. It doesn't really go with anything, but it is lovely and I could finish it off. I do have fabric that can be used for the backing. This may be something that I just have quilted, or I quilt myself on my home machine and end up selling or giving away. Another small quilt top. I think a lot of these were samples that I made up for my shop, showcasing fabric that we had just had arrive. Also not really my style, but might be something my daughter might like. And I do have fabrics that will work for the backing of this. So this is another one that is a quilt and sell or give away. Apparently I went through a gray phase, but this was very cool fabric. I don't remember whose fabric this was, but I have it in probably all the colorways that it came in. So it was a gradient from the light to the dark. You can see it better on this little piece of sashing, as that's just one piece. Starts off dark down here and goes to light. It was just a play of value and was fairly fun to make. This would be another one that would be good for sashiko and slow stitching. So I'm going to put it with the other gray quilt that I have. Ooh, a fun batik quilt. Also with pinwheels. I believe that this pinwheel quilt and that first one that I showed you all came from the pinwheel book that I came across in my stash of quilting books from last week. It's really cute and very colorful, and I really like it. So this is a keeper, and it looks like I have some backing fabric. So it just needs to be sandwiched and quilted. I think this one may have been called Hugs and Kisses because it's essentially X's and O's types of thing. So this next project is partially done, and it is a placemat. This one's actually completed. I live in Maryland. We're all about blue crabs. I believe I made a set of placemats for my stepniece when she got married. And I have 2 more placemats all cut and quilted, and they just need to have binding. So this fabric is for the binding. Looks like it's just straight binding. So that's fairly easy. And that would be a good project to have. Now, I just have to find somebody who wants 3 placemats. Then I have this bit of fabric that is in pieces. Part is sewn together, part is in pieces. Let me find a sewn together part. I think I was ultimately going to try to make a skirt, but this was also very interesting fabric because it had florals at one end and then it graduated into just this tone on tone that's in the background. And so I reversed that with every other wedge. These are cut from wedges here. Here's the wedge of fabric. But this is really something that I am not going to finish. I'm going to have to rehome this one. If any of you would like this project, contact me through YouTube or on Instagram. And for the price of shipping, it can be yours. I'm not even sure all the pieces are there. I have quite a stack of partially sewn and all cut pieces. It could make an interesting round tablecloth. You may have to put something in the center. And I don't believe I have any more of this fabric. If I find any more of it, I would pass that along as well. And the last project that I have is a whole stack here. And it looks like I kept together all the fabrics that I used in this quilt top. So it's quite possible that the whole top is done. I haven't unfurled it yet, but there is enough fabric here to piece together a backing if I don't have a single piece that is large enough. So let's take a look at this quilt. So this looks to be a large lap size quilt. It's very pretty, and I might be able to find a place for this in my house, but it definitely figure out the backing situation. I have enough fabric. I just have to figure out whether or not it has to be pieced or if I have a single piece that's large enough. And I'm looking quickly in my stash of fabrics. I don't think I have any pieces up there that are large enough. So this isn't going to be a finish immediately. And because it's so large, I would send it out to be quilted. So this is a bit of a project for the back burner. But I am going to list it on my sheet of unfinished projects so that I don't forget about it. Now that I have gone through everything, I have a much better understanding of what I can tackle and finish so that I can feel like I've accomplished something. Because you know, crafter's math is if you've finished one project, you're allowed to start 2 new ones. So now I just have to determine what I want to start first. Let me know in the comments what you think I should be working on next, while, of course, I'm working on the other 2 works in progress. But this is fun because I can quickly finish a couple of things, and it does look like for everything except for that lovely skirt tablecloth thing, I am willing to finish them myself or send it out to be quilted, but at least up to that point to get it done myself. And for a few of them, I do plan to either quilt them on my home machine or do slow stitching. At the end of each month, I'll catch you up on my weekly vlog with what I have finished. So my question for you is, how many unfinished quilt projects do you have? Or are you the type of quilter who only does one thing at a time? Bless you. I just can't. It's not possible. I have to keep starting new things. I have also put together a printable that you can download. Just hop over to my website and you can download your own sheet to fill in with what works in progress you have. And of course, it'll work for other craft projects as well, not just for quilting.